when I was finally 18, I joined the Navy, and this was in World War II. And I never will forget going to the first Navy base, and after getting my uniform and so on, they issued me a religious preference card. Anyhow, at the bottom of that card, it said, "Are you Catholic, Protestant, or Jewish?" I didn't know what it was. I guess I knew what I wasn't, but I didn't really know what it was. So I left it blank. And within a couple of days, the chaplain called us in, me and a bunch of others that had left it blank. And he gave us this Navy routine about men. Navy regulations forbid me from trying to change you, but for those who have no religious preference, I'm allowed to tell you about my particular persuasion. So, are you interested? And seemed like a good way to get out of some KP duty or whatever. So we went to hear his lecture on his particular persuasion. I won't tell you what religious group it was, but during the next 6 months I got a lot of Southern fried chicken. They were a group associated with the South. But anyhow, after telling us about his particular denominational group, he said, "Now, if you're interested more, why, we'll be glad to arrange for you to attend a church off base so you can hear the local preacher and see what the local churches are like." And so we went, 12 or 13 or whatever, went to the local church, and we got a lot of chicken dinners and they were good people. I enjoyed the Southern Baptists. They were very fine people. And some of our men finally went into the group, but I never thought it just was quite right. I'd never wanted to denominate myself. I didn't really know what that word meant then, but it just seemed like a shame to cut myself off from some of my buddies. I finally went to another base, and the same religious preference card, are you Catholic, Protestant, or Jewish? And I still didn't know what it was, but this time I was smarter and I knew what I was going to get, more chicken dinners and so on. And the chaplain, sure enough, within a few days, called us in, gave us his particular line of thought, and more off-camp, off-base churches and so on. Well, to make a long story short, finally after the war, went to college, and my roommate was a very committed Christian man, Jim Messmer. Some of you may know him from East Tennessee. And I hadn't been in the room but just a few hours before he said, "John, are you a Christian?" And I didn't know. So I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, let me show you what the Bible says." And he started showing me what the Bible said. That's the first time anybody had taken me to the Bible. That's strange. But he started showing me some references in the Bible. And after 2 or 3 months of him working on me and several others, I finally gave my heart to the Lord. And it's almost like a light bulb went on in my mind when I realized that I could be just a Christian. And I hope we haven't lost that spirit in our brotherhood, that we can be just Christians. And that thrills me yet to this day. That I can be, I've never claimed to be the only Christian. But I know that if what those people in the book of Acts did made them Christians, I did the same thing, so it made me a Christian. And that just thrills me. So that's my experience in finding the New Testament church.
When I'm dead, cry for me a little. Think of me sometimes, but not too much. It's not good for you to allow your thoughts to dwell too long on the dead. Think of me now and then, again, as I was in life at some moment which is pleasant for you to recall. But not too long. Leave me in peace, as I shall leave you also in peace. While you live, let your thoughts be with the living,